Okay, boys and girls, now it is your turn. So what you're going to do is either scroll down to listen to the text or read the selections independently, meaning on your own. Then you're going to choose the best answer to each question. Don't forget to record the title as shown here and your answers in the text entry box. The first selection is titled March 31st, 3022, Troy. It's 11:22 a.m. My family and I were only 2 light years away from the crystal galaxy when a sensor on our spaceship went out. We are making an emergency landing on a large asteroid called Troy, but we're worried we'll encounter Dreek weevils. 12:20 p.m. We landed on Troy, which is cool for an asteroid. The ground shimmers with an odd bluish color, and everywhere there are pools of red liquid. While Mom and Dad work on the spaceship, Priscilla and I are exploring the asteroid on our hoverblades. 1:23 p.m. You won't believe what happened. Priscilla and I had quietly coasted into the mouth of a cave. After a few moments, we heard a strange sucking sound. Quickly, we cruised back towards the spaceship, but we were being followed. When we reached the spaceship, I spotted Dad on the hover ledge and Mom handing tools up to him. Once we reached them, I looked back and could see the creature that had been following us. Its 8 arms swayed. Attached to the suction cups on its arms were various tools, gadgets, and scraps of metal. "He sucks on anything made of metal," said Mom. "Our tools must seem like candy to him." She pointed to the tools floating around our spaceship. "Oh, he can have them," said Dad. "If I can have his socket probe." Dad moved towards his largest wrench and gave it a push through the air. The Dreek weevil suddenly sucked it to its body. Then the creature blinked its eyes, cocked its head, and slowly extended its arm towards Priscilla. Gently, she peeled free the socket probe. That was the first text. Text number 2 is titled Stranded. Anna and her family had been driving through the desert for nearly 2 hours. Mile after mile, all Anna could see were enormous cacti. "Oh, Hank, stop here a minute," her mother said. Anna glanced up from her magazine to see dozens of woven blankets displayed along the roadside. She marveled at all colors. Off to one side was a faded old pickup truck, and seated in the bed of the truck, a man maybe 10 years older than her father. "Did you make all these blankets?" Anna asked. The man nodded, but he didn't answer. Anna thought that was odd. "Pick out a blanket," her mother said. The one that caught Anna's eye was a woven pattern of human figures joined by their hands across the length of the blanket. Anna wondered what the design meant. As they pulled away, she took one last look at the man as he stared out at the endless desert. They hadn't driven far when they got a flat tire. Although the whole family searched, they couldn't find the tire iron. "It must have fallen out by that blanket stand when we rearranged the trunk," Anna said. She knew they would have to stay with the car until someone came along, and that could be a long while. When Anna noticed a tiny spot off in the distance, as the vehicle drew near, she saw it was the same faded pickup truck. The man pulled up behind their car, got out, and handed her the tire iron. Then the man tipped his hat and stepped back into his truck. As he drove away, Anna thought about the design on her blanket. Now she knew what it meant. Okay, boys and girls, now I'm going to read you the question set. There are going to be questions about both of these texts. Number 1. One similarity between these two selections is that both of them what? A. Share with the reader the rules and tips for safe travel. B. Entertain readers with a story that takes place in the future. C. Persuade the reader to travel to new places. Or D. Entertain the readers with a story about traveling. Number 2. What is one way the two stories are different? F. The first story uses a bulleted list of travel tips. G. The second story uses questions and answers. H. The second story uses headings and subheadings. Or J. The first story is organized like a journal entry. Number 3. What is one way that the plot of the two stories are similar? Now remember, the plot is all of the events that take place in the story, right? It's that roller coaster that we've been using all year long. The exposition, why is the action, climax, following action, and the denouement or the resolution. So it says, what is one way that the plots of the two stories are similar? Is it A, both of the stories tell about buying something new from a stranger? B, both stories tell about a family that needs to fix its vehicle? C, both stories take place in the future? Or D, both stories take place in the desert? Remember, boys and girls, it's okay to go back and reread because that's what good readers do. Number 4 and 5. Number 4 says, characters in both stories learn, this is our lesson, F, that strangers can be helpful during travel. G, that taking a vacation is not a good idea. H, that strangers are dangerous. Or J, how to fix a broken vehicle. Remember, when the characters learn a message in a story, that means the author is presenting you with a theme, okay? Number 5. One difference between the two stories is that A, only the first story is about strangers. B, one story is about journeys and the other is about friendship. C, one story takes place in the future and the other takes place in the present. Or D, only the second story is about travel. What is the difference between the two stories? That's number 5. Number 6. What is similar about the Dreckweevil and the man in the desert? F, both of them make things. G, both of them help strangers in need. H, both of them wear hats. Or J, both of them are not human. Boys and girls, please make sure that you again are rereading the text if you need to. Make sure that you're stopping and asking yourself whether you truly understand what's being asked, okay? And again, always make sure that you're able to justify your answers.